Hi, I'm Mrs. S from Steps to Success Maths. In this video, we're going to work through exam questions on quadratic inequalities. We're going to start with the easiest and work through to the hardest. Pause the video, have a go, and we'll go through it together step by step. Solve the inequality. X squared plus 7x plus 10 is less than 0. So the first thing to do is to solve this as if it were equal to 0. So it's just a quadratic equation. And we first of all try to solve a quadratic equation by using a double set of brackets, like this. So we want x and x at the start, and then something that multiplies to make 10 and adds to make 7. So that's plus 2 and plus 5. And we're going to set that equal to 0. So the two solutions to this are when the first bracket is 0, so that's when x is negative 2, and when the second bracket is 0, so when x is negative 5. If you're not great at solving quadratics by factorising, make sure you watch my other video on this. Now, to answer this question and solve the inequality, we're going to do a little sketch of what this quadratic graph looks like. Now, remember this x squared, this quadratic bit, makes it look like a smiley face. And we know the crossing points on the x-axis are at negative 2 and negative 5. And the number at the end here, this plus 10, tells us the y-intercept. So we can sketch a little drawing just like this. It doesn't have to be perfect. Now we're interested in when this line we've drawn is less than 0. So it's the bit underneath the x-axis, this part here of the curve, less than 0. So the values of x can be between negative 5 and negative 2. So we're going to write this using our inequality symbol. Negative 5 less than x, and that's less than negative 2. You can check that this is the right region that you've got, the right inequality, by choosing a number in the middle. So say you chose negative 3. That's right in the middle of this interval. And you popped it into your original equation. Negative 3 squared is 9, plus 7 times negative 3, so that's negative 21, plus 10. 9 take away 21 plus 10 is negative 3, and that's less than 0. So if you're not sure you've got it right, you can use a number in that range to check. Let's look at this one. Solve the inequality. X squared plus 4x minus 21 is greater than or equal to 0. So first of all, solve this quadratic as if it were equal to 0. We're going to do that using two brackets, x at the start of each one. We want negative 21 at the end and positive 4 in the middle. So one negative number and one positive number. And we're going to have plus 7 and take away 3. And that's equal to 0. So our two solutions are x is negative 7 and x is 3. And now we need to sketch what it looks like. Draw your axes, mark your x-intercepts, so these points minus 7 and 3. And we know that the y-intercept is this number at the end, negative 21. So we can sketch a little curve. Now we want to know when it's greater than or equal to 0. So that's these two ends of the curve. So we write that down. It's when x is greater than or equal to 3. Don't forget the equal to this time. Or when x is less than or equal to negative 7. Solve the inequality. X squared is greater than 3 bracket 18 minus x close bracket. Okay, so first of all, we're going to rearrange this so we've got all the terms on one side and a 0 on the other. So we could start by multiplying out the bracket. X squared is greater than 3 times 18 is 54, and 3 times negative x is negative 3x. Now we're going to add 3 to both sides of our inequality, just like solving an equation. x squared plus 3x is greater than 54. And now we're going to subtract 54 from both sides. X squared plus 3x, take away 54, is greater than 0. And now I want to solve it, but equal to 0. So 2 brackets, x at the start of both of them, something that multiplies to give negative 54 and has this difference of positive 3. So that's going to be plus 9 and negative 6. And next you're going to sketch it. So the points of interest are negative 9 and 6, and then negative 54. So draw it, and we're looking for where it's greater than 0. So these ends here. So x can be less than negative 9, or x can be greater than 6. Solve the inequality. 4x squared minus 6x minus 15 is less than 3x squared minus 12x plus 25. Okay, so we want to tidy this up, so we've got a 0 on only one side. Always start with the side with the most x squareds and take the other side away. So we've got 4x squared and 3x squared. So we're going to start by subtracting 3x squared from both sides. X squared minus 6x minus 15 is less than negative 12x plus 25. Now we're going to add 12x to both sides. X squared plus 6x, take away 15, is less than 25. And our last step is to take away 25. X squared plus 6x, take away 40, is less than 0. And now we're going to solve this inequality. So we're going to put it equal to 0 and then use our 2 sets of brackets. X and x, we want to make negative 40 and then plus 6. So plus 10 minus 4, and that's equal to 0. So x is negative 10 and x is 4. And now we need to sketch it. So we've got negative 10 and 4 and negative 40. Make sure you use your rearranged form where you've got this inequality set to 0. And then we want to know where it's less than 0. So this section under the x-axis. So x lies between negative 10 and 4. Okay, so here's a slightly different looking one, but we're going to do the same thing. Solve the inequality. 8x over x squared plus 7 less than or equal to 1. So we're going to multiply through by x squared plus 7 to get rid of the fraction. 8x less than or equal to x squared plus 7. Now remember, we want to keep the x squared on the side we've got it as it's positive. We don't want to move it to a negative. So we're going to take away 8x to start with. So we've got 0 less than or equal to x squared, take away 8x plus 7. If you want, you can now rewrite this so that the inequality is on the right-hand side like we've had before. We've got x squared minus 8x plus 7 is greater than or equal to 0. And now we're going to solve it using our 2 sets of brackets but equal to 0. So x and x, we want a positive at the end and a negative in the middle, so both are negative. So we've got negative 7 and negative 1. So our 2 answers are x is 7 and x is 1. And then we can put all our points on our little sketch. So we've got 1 and 7 on our x-axis and plus 7 on our y, and draw a little sketch. And we're looking for when this is greater than or equal to 0. So these sections here. So x is either less than or equal to 1, or x is greater than or equal to 7. Question 6. Solve the quadratic inequality 16x squared minus 25 is less than or equal to 0. So you have to spot that this is the difference of two squares. So we've got 4x minus 5 and 4x plus 5 in our brackets, and that's going to be equal to 0. So when does this first bracket equal 0? Well, that's when x is 5 over 4. And when does the second bracket equal 0? When x is negative 5 over 4. We can use this information to draw our little sketch. So we've got negative 5 over 4 and 5 over 4. And we've got negative 25 on the y-axis. So it looks like this. And we're looking for when this is less than or equal to 0. So this section under the x-axis. So then we've got that x is greater than or equal to negative 5 over 4 and less than or equal to 5 over 4. Solving quadratic inequalities is really tricky. So that you can keep practicing, I've linked a free worksheet with worked solutions. Be sure to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on any of my videos or free worksheets.